I'd ask people what are their goals, and they're like, oh, I want to go to the gym more. That's not a goal. That's a habit. People are like, I want to get in better shape. That's not specific. It's got to be like a target, something you can hit. And how you build that in your mind, the vision, it's very, very important as you bombard your subconscious. And many of you are doing mind movies or vision boards, things like that. But to really ingrain this into your being is going to be key. And so I love this phrase. This is the ultimate self-development. alignment with our values so that we can really show up powerfully, not only for ourselves, but for our families, for our companies, for humanity. And life supports that, what supports life. And having a bigger vision than just yourself is what's going to connect you and really give you the emotional fuel that you need to step outside of yourself and be bigger than any challenge that could ever happen to you.